Hello, hello, hello. We have a new setup because last week's potato filming was not something I was happy with. Now, I had to close the cat out, so he's already scratching at the door. We'll see how this goes. Hello there, Voltergeist. I love that name. I love your drawing. That's so cute. Very cute. So last week, and I'm just checking on my mobile, and yes, it looks like everything is good. Oh, such a relief. Last week, and I think the one I did before, my Wi-Fi was just so bad, and I was just waiting and waiting and thinking, okay, I'm gonna set up my wired, setup again, get a new webcam and everything when I move into the new place in August, but it was not going to be possible, especially because I have an event with the AuthorTube Writing Conference at the end of the month, and I do not want that to get messed up. So here we are wired again. The only thing is it's a mess here, so I don't have my usual nice backdrop, so I'm operating with a green screen right now. So that's how it's going to be until I have my full new setup in August. Anyhow, welcome. Is that glitch out happening for you too? I hope not. It's a new camera. Like, this is literally the first time I'm using this camera. It's supposed to be decent. It's supposed to be like 4K and fancy and all that, but let's just hope for no technical difficulties. A little glitch now and then, fine. No major technical difficulties. Anyway, with that, welcome. We are going to be sprinting today. The way I like to do things is 15-minute sprints with a 30-minute wrap-up at the end. Sometimes I like to do 2 30-minute, and sometimes we just do one. It depends how things are going with the 15, how much we talk in between, etc. So thank you so much. I'm glad to see the feedback. That's good. That's very good. I was used to having a really, really nice setup before. I had things like very aesthetic, and then I traveled to Europe, and now I'm like basically couch surfing at my mom's apartment until we're in a new place in August. So the way I was doing things last time is I had some little prompts up on the screen, but we didn't have a huge turnout last time, so I kept the same ones, and you can use them. You don't have to. You can use them to like start something new if you're not in the middle of a project and you just kind of want to write for fun or practice. Or you can see how you can incorporate them into what you're working on. It's completely up to you. You don't have to use them at all. I am going to add our timer to the stage here because I would like to jump right in. My prediction for my first sprint is that I'm going to spend a fair amount of time trying to find my files because now I'm on a different computer and I have to go back into Drive and find every little thing that I had open. But I am going to try to get, like, let's say 200 words in. That's what I'm going to hope for. Everyone let me know what you are working on. No need to stay silent in the chat. We don't fight. I've never had a mean, I've had one person be mean to me, but that was a very special incident and had nothing to do with the people in my chat. So it's a friendly space. Feel free to say hi. Let us know what you're working on, what your goal is for our first 15-minute sprint. I am working on Synterra. I have to finish this novel by the end of July, which is a lot because I'm supposed to release it in August. So any sprints I'm doing this month, and then in the upcoming Order of the Written Words Summer Conclave through July, if you don't know what that is, more on that later. That is going to be a big writing time for me right now and then. So the second half of this month and all of next month, I have to finish an entire novel. So that's what I'm working on. It's a fantasy epic. It's a lot. With that, I will chat a bit more after the sprint, but for now, let's just dive right in and see what we can do right off the bat, and then let the rest of the stream unfold. Okay, ready, set, sprint. Might want to unmute my mic, right? I was just saying quickly to Sheraton, I miss you so much. Thank you for stopping by. I just wanted to say in the video as well as in the chat. So we are going to have to catch up soon. There's so much, so much. How did everyone do on that first sprint? It went very quickly, as the first one tends to do. But I think it's good to just kind of jump right into things to try and see where we're at. I spent most of the time just finding my documents and finding where I was, rereading a little bit of what I did last time. I'm at one of those spots. There's this chapter that's like a party and I want a lot of things to happen, but there's a lot of tedious writing to do that's like conversation, and I'm pretty good at conversation, but I haven't fully fleshed out the like beginning and end of this event in my head. So if I had, it would be a lot more like, it would be a lot easier to work on it, but I'm very much just sort of like pantsing it. I'm pantsing it right now. And for me, I'm a plantser. I'm a very like planning oriented person, but I do some pantsing in my writing. So whenever I do go like full pantser, then it's like, it's harder for me. It's a lot more difficult. But my word count for that one was 108. So let me know how yours was. It's saying there isn't anyone here right now, but I know the count is not always accurate on StreamYard. I like to sometimes check in on YouTube as well, because I do think that we've got a couple people. If not, I'm talking to myself. I have found that these 3 to 5 sprints, it's really funny. I thought that they would be more popular because I used to do 1 to 3, and every time I would do a 1 to 3 sprint, I would get more people coming in, maybe around 2:30. So I thought, okay, well, it's Sunday. Maybe people are sleeping in and then they're doing like brunch or lunch or something like that. So 3 to 5 might be better. But I think I'm still trying to find that sweet spot. Maybe 2 to 4 would be ideal. Let me know, anyone who is here. And if you watch this back after, feel free to drop it in the comments below when good times are for you to sprint. I tend to have Sundays totally open, so it's a good day for me. Also, though, I think I was doing Saturdays. So I was doing Saturdays 1 to 3. So maybe Saturdays 2 to 4 would be better. I don't know. I have a separate writing group that meets noon until 2 on Saturday. So my main thing with changing this was also like, I didn't want to write from 12 to 2 and then get on camera and write from 2 to 4. I would just be like completely exhausted, and I don't think it would work. So anyway, still workshopping it. Let me know what times you prefer on a Saturday or Sunday, because I already have my weekday sprint on Discord, and I can only do one on YouTube, one on Discord per week. So I think that glitch happens when I like move my hands. I don't know. The less people that are here, the more rambling you get, because then I'm like, oh, no one's watching me that much. I can focus on like, how's my camera doing? How's my background doing? I've also had an energy drink, so that'll do it. Okay, I'm just going to add our timer to the stage once again. And I think that people get notifications and like the algorithm grabs onto this like after we've been sprinting for a little bit. That's another thing. I'm always trying to figure out what is going to be best. So I'm going to hop into another 15-minute sprint because I got to do some writing and I'm not going to wait much longer. But this does bode well for our timing, since I'm not going to be too off with timing. Anyone who does join in, if you see this, if you go back in the video, let me know what you're working on. I'll also drop a comment in the comments. But for now, I'm going to move into our second sprint of the day, another 15-minute. Round 2 is done, and we're still fairly dead here, but that is fine for anyone who is coming in, who's watching back a little bit. We are sprinting. I am sprinting currently. I'm sprinting and drinking my energy drink with my better setup that does keep glitching in a strange way, but as long as it doesn't cut out, we're good. But yeah, seems good so far. I am not being filmed on a potato. Oh, hello there, Scooby-Doo. How's it going? Just working on some writing. For anyone who is writing, let me know what you're working on. I'm working on Centera. I did about 150 words in that one. So I'm still reading back and trying to deal with this long conversation chapter that's just going on and on and on and on. I'm doing well, but just trying desperately to get through this novel. I'm so done with writing it. I hate when I get to that point with a project. I'm like 112 pages in, but this is going to be like, it's definitely going to be like a 300 page or something like that. So yeah, it's a lot. I'm ready for it to be done. I've been back and forth with so many drafts with this one particular book. I mean, considering how long I've worked on it, that like this is the final draft. It's done. It's out there, and I'm going to make it the best I possibly can. But at this point, I just can't wait for it to be out in the world and done, and then I can move on to the next thing. I have this weird thing. I was saying this to my mom, who's also my editor, the other day. I was like, I feel like I can't actually like move on to the next phase of my life until this book is done. So that's how I'm feeling about it. And I'm really excited to write the second one, though. So I think that one's going to be a lot more fun, and I've got a better foundation and platform now to work off of. So it's going to be a lot easier as well. So I just have to get this done, and then it's on to other things. But yeah, I also want to write my stuff that's not fantasy. So I think maybe that'll be a November project, because I can put this out and then, promote this for the next like year or so or something like that. And then maybe take a break from fantasy and then come back to fantasy later. Yeah, that's probably going to be how it goes. All right. So we are at 3:42. I think we're going to do one more 15-minute sprint. And just because of how relatively quiet it has been, I want to wrap with 2 half-hour sprints. So we'll see how many people show up. If we do 1 half hour and then people want something shorter and there's more people here, then we will do that. I'm, of course, flexible. But for now, we're going to do a final 15, maybe final 15, and then go into a half hour. So I'm just going to add this to the stage here and get us ready for sprinting. So I did like 108 the first one, 150-ish the second one. I really am going to try to do like 300 words in this one if I can. I really just need something to pick up and latch onto, and I think I'm almost there. So once I get into writing something that I want to write, that I'm enjoying writing, it's going to be off to the races and ready for the half-hour sprints. Alrighty. And I am going to put up one of these banners with a little prompt. If anyone wants a prompt, if you're looking for a prompt, You can use it for inspiration within the story that you're writing, or you can just do a little side project, or you don't have to use them at all. It's totally up to you, but I like to provide something fun. And I said this last time, but these are from the prompts that I've been posting on our Writing Craft podcast Instagram and Facebook page. So if you want more magical prompts, definitely check that out, and check out the podcast too, please. I do that with Jenna Streety, and we have a lot of fun over there. Okay, sprint time, ready, set, and go. Last 15-minute down. I made my goal that time, finally, 364 words. And I figured out a good way to lead one thing into something that happens in the next chapter. So we're doing better. And the cat is scratching at the door. He's not screaming, and it doesn't sound like he's doing anything bad, so that's good. But he's very attached to me and doesn't like it if I'm somewhere that he can't access me. He requires access at all times. He's really funny because he'll also be super bad sometimes, but in very specific moments. So if I'm working at the desk out there, the table where I work, that is when he'll decide to jump up on things and push things over and like go on the mantle and all of this stuff, only when I'm working. But if I'm in there and I'm sitting on the couch and I'm like reading or I'm napping or something like that, then he's fine because he can tell that I'm not like zoned in working. And it's only if I'm zoned in working that he wants to bug me. Like he's very clever and not in a good way. Okay, so doing a bit better. I think that at the very least, I'm going to be able to finish this chapter this time, which will be a very good thing because it's kind of a bridge chapter, and I really hate writing bridge chapters. I just want to write the exciting chapters, but then you have to make the bridge chapters still interesting and good. So like, it's just, I want to write all the fun moments. Right, I'm going to add our next timer to the stage. We're at 4, so making very good time because I'm not talking as much as I normally would with people because there's no one here. So for anyone who watches this back, because I know that some people do watch these back just to use them as timers and stuff for themselves, check out the poll in my posts section on YouTube. I have a poll about when would be best for sprints because this is the second week now where I've sprinted at this time and it is pretty dead. So I think that maybe earlier on Sunday, maybe just Sunday is a bad day. I would rather not have to do 2 sprints on Saturday because I'm doing a writing session 12 to 2 ideally, and it's my friends. So I really want to like be able to be there for her community. But yeah, we'll see. I might wind up having to do like that from noon until 2 and then hosting on here from like 2 until 4. So we'll see. I guess I also have been thinking that maybe I could do like 1 hour with her and then 2 hours here. So then it's like 3 hours of writing. It's still a lot, but I do need to write a lot. So we'll see how it goes. I did post a link, by the way, in the live chat to the order. So if you do not know about the Order of the Written Word, it's our AI free writing challenge that the Stygian Society runs. We are coming up on July, which is the month of our summer conclave. So we do conclaves in spring and summer, and then we do a major event in November. The conclaves are very like online focused, whereas November does have a couple like in-person things if you're in Montreal. We are looking to branch out in other cities as well. So if you know like a good amount of people writing in your own city, you can join and you can do in-person events and be one of our branches. That's for November. But yeah, this one in July is heavily online. We're going to have workshops. We're going to have a whole bunch of stuff going on, lots of guided sprints, body doubling sessions, and the goal for the conclaves, that's just write for an hour every day. So if you want to get your routine up and running in July and write an hour every day, that is a great way to get yourself going. Okay, whoever is here, if anyone's here, screaming into the void, it's a good time. Let's do our 30-minute sprint. I seem to be able to do like 350 when I'm powering through on a 15, so let's aim for about 600, 700 words. That's what I'm going to try to get done. I'm going to try to wrap this chapter up. Without further blabbing, let's sprint. All right, first half hour sprint is done. I see we still don't have like a major amount of people, so I'm probably gonna wrap up the session with another half hour sprint rather than trying to throw anything else into the mix. That was very good for me. I got 799 words in on that one. So that was more than I was hoping for. I was aiming for 600 to 700 based on how I was doing in the 15 minutes. So 799 is good. If I can do the same in the next one, that will be even better. I did not finish the chapter, but I'm pretty close, I think. This is one of those conversational ones. Gab was actually just talking about chapter length. Anyone who's checking out the chat and asking about tips for expanding chapter length. I find that for anyone who's curious and not reading right now, I find that my chapters are so varied, and it really just depends what I need to say within them. Like when a chapter's done, I really know that it's done, right? And sometimes that moment will come up like 5 pages in, and sometimes that moment will carry on and carry on and carry on until I'm at like 15 pages. So I used to think for a really long time when I would write that I really wanted my chapters to all be kind of a similar length, because I get very like, I don't know. I'm not going to say OCD because I definitely don't have OCD, but something like that where like I want it to be sort of aligned and perfect in a certain way. I am like a completionist and a perfectionist in a lot of instances. So I wanted that. I want it to just be kind of clean and neat and everything kind of like a uniform amount. But you really don't need that. I think in writing and anything creative, you want to say things in the best way possible. With visual art, you want to show things in the best way possible, and sometimes that's going to be really short in written works. Sometimes in visual works, sometimes it's going to be really rough. Like I've done sketches and paintings that are so much better just done sort of swiftly in emotion versus something that I take hours on. A lot of the time I overwork things that I take too long on. So I'm in a chapter right now that is quite long. I was actually just looking at this. It's like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pages. So I'm at 11 pages right now in this one, and it's probably going to still be 2 or 3 more. So whenever I'm at that kind of length in a chapter, right now I am feeling a little bit antsy. Like I got to end this soon because it's sort of going on. Then of course in the final edit, you can tighten things up, but some of my most powerful chapters are the short ones because they are just like very concise, very impactful. They tend to be action oriented. Like when I know a moment that I'm going to write, I can write it like with not a lot of words at all. So it's kind of interesting exploring the whole concept of chapter length and what we should do, how we do that, etc. Like how we might expand a chapter, how we might make it more concise. It's an interesting thing to explore and think about, and I know that it's different for everyone. So yeah, I mean, let me know what you think. For anyone who is just joining, we are doing one final sprint of this session. It's going to be half hour. Now, I usually like to say just quickly, because some people usually have to leave partway through the final sprint. For anyone who just wants a little update on things, I am sprinting every weekend. Please check out my YouTube profile in the post section, because I put up a poll asking about what times are best for people, because I found these Sunday ones are a little bit quiet, and I would like to be sprinting during a time where more people are available and we can all write together and work on our projects. July is the summer conclave coming up with the Order of the Written Word. So be sure to check out stygiansociety.com/the order. It is in the live chat if you want to scroll back. That's going to be a goal of writing for an hour every day. So if you're looking for a challenge to get your writing up and running again, July will be a really good month for that. We've got a bunch of people in the server, a bunch of events planned. It's going to be a lot of fun. I will still be sprinting here though every week at the new time that we determined based on that poll on my main profile. So that's pretty much all that's going on at the moment. I am deep into writing Centera still. So that is what I'm trying to work on, and I've got to finish it by the end of July. So it's going to be quite the experience. With that, if you have to head out, I'll say bye and thank you for joining. before we get into the final stream. If not, I hope you can get a lot done during this one. Let me know in the comments what you're working on, what your goals are. I did 799 words in the last one, so I'm hoping to reach the same point or more with this final one. And without further ado, let's sprint. All right, and that's the final sprint. I did 757 words in that one, so not as much as the last one, but that's not so bad. It's still a good amount, I think. For the entire 2 hours, I'm at 2,183. We're gradually getting there. For the chapter, I wanted to finish the chapter today. I'm really close. I'm almost at that point where I think it's ready to cut it off. But I do need to add a couple more little like breadcrumbs in. So it's not 100% there. But I think I'm going to keep writing for maybe another like 20 minutes or something, and I should be able to wrap it up. So 13 chapters will be complete today, which is exciting. I do have some reports I have to do though for a marketing gig that I'm wrapping up, so gotta get that done too. Sunday is not necessarily a relaxing day for me. You are so welcome, and thank you for joining. For next week, if you are free for the same time, we might be doing the same time. I'm not sure yet. So go head over to that poll on my profile on posts and vote, so you can have a say in what times would be best for you. Unfortunately, you can only choose one option. You can't choose multiples if like multiples would be good for you. So just pick the best one, and I will see what things are looking like for that. As we head through next week, I'll leave it, it'll be up until next week, I guess, probably, and we'll see how it goes. And then I'll make an announcement about when the updated sprint time will be, probably by Wednesday, just to give everyone enough of a heads up. So yeah, I hope that you all had some good writing time and got some work done, and I'm going to probably keep writing, but I'm going to log off now. So thank you. Hopefully see you next week, again, without the potato camera. It's looking good. I'm very happy with how this turned out. The green screen is A-okay. And that's all for now. Go check out stygiansociety.com/preorder. Join our writing challenge for the month of July. I'll probably make a proper post about it. Maybe I'll do a video depending how much time I have in the next little while. But it's all through July, trying to write an hour a day, and it's through the Conclave on Discord. All right, thank you again. And with that, I hope that you are all having a day that is just as wonderful as you are. Bye.